Hello everyone, welcome to this section. In this section we're going to get started with Android Studio and basically configuring Android Studio for Kotlin programming. So let's get started. So Android Studio or Google have already released a version of Android Studio, a preview version of Android Studio that basically allows you to use Kotlin and has full Kotlin support. Now to get it is really very simple. Just open up your browser. And by the way, this will work on any operating system of your choice. So we can basically just search for, in your search bar, Android Studio Preview, all right? Because that will basically give us the preview version that supports Kotlin. And that is the version 3 for those of you who are already familiar with Android Studio. So as you can see, be an early adopter. That's the first link we clicked, and it's going to say, download version 3 Canary 4. So these are still in preview mode, so it's not fully released, but hopefully they'll release it very soon. They're hopefully getting more Kotlin developers and getting more statistics so they can basically make changes and make it better and better. So just hit download. Again, it'll automatically detect what operating system you're on, and once that's done downloaded, I already have the file downloaded right here. It's a zip file, I believe, and we're just going to extract it. All right, so it's going to download the zip file, and next thing is we just have to extract it. So I'm just going to come back when this is done. Alrighty, so it should have finished extracted, and indeed it has. So just let it extract. It shouldn't take that much time, and it's going to give you a folder. The folder is basically the extracted folder, and let's open this up. And it's going to give us another folder. Let's open that up. Now you might be asking yourself, well, how do I basically get started? Well, all you have to do is just open your bin folder, and the executable should be in this folder, whether you're running this on Linux, Mac OS, or Windows, as I am. So you have your 32-bit executable and you have your 64-bit executable. So whatever the system architecture you're running, just double click on that executable or that application and it should start up. So I've just started that one up, and hopefully it should open up the window respective of Android Studio. So just give that a few seconds and it should pop up anytime now. There we are. So as you can see, this is the new basic design. They've not changed a lot. For those of you who are already familiar with maybe the previous version of Android Studio, version 2.2, I think, that still uses Java, but this is the new version and this is how it's going to look. It's still powered by IntelliJ, obviously, because it's a very, very good basic software. So, as you can see, these are, if you have not created any application, you won't get this little line right here. And that's because these are the projects that I've been working on in Android Studio, not necessarily with version 3. So once you have this, it's basically going to say you can start a new Android Studio project, which is most likely what we'll opt for. But before that, what you want to do is you want to basically go into configure, all right, and you want to go into SDK manager. Now again, before this, you probably would have already installed the Java JDK, so you're probably good. So once it opened the SDK manager, it's going to take you to this page right here. And now this is your SDK. These are the SDK files. What the SDK files and tools are basically APIs for different versions of Android, so you can basically build your Android application with compatibility for that Android version. So if you wanted to have let's say you wanted to build an application that would run on Android Gingerbread all the way to Android Nougat, you would basically install all of these. But for me, I like to build mine from KitKat and above. It just makes the code much more easier to manage and maintain. So you can install all of them. Just a friendly reminder that the files downloaded will take time, and obviously basically it takes a lot of storage space. So you might want to keep that in mind. So you want to make sure you just install the ones you need. If you're getting started with learning, and if you have a physical Android device, I would recommend that you install the version, the API level of the phone or the tablet that you're currently using if it's a physical device. So basically just install that and hit OK. And again, if you followed the first tutorials where we installed the Java JDK, you pretty much should be okay. And in the next video, we're going to get started with basically setting up Android Studio with Kotlin. So thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, please leave them in the Q&A section of the course.